It's 8:30 in the morning and it's already 80 degrees, and the high is gonna end up being 102 today. Yesterday was 108. It got really hot for these avocado trees. They were not happy. And even today, with getting watered all night, they still don't look really happy. And you can see some of the burning that happened yesterday on them. So here's what I'm doing in order to try and prevent my trees from completely burning, dying, losing their leaves, and losing any fruit that's on them, because we still have another 3 days of heat, and we've already dealt with 2 days being over 100. So we'll see what I can do. I planted this avocado tree earlier this year. It's only been in the ground about 4 months now, and it's put on a lot of growth in those 4 months. This was a pretty small little shrub when I put it in, but just in the last 4 months, it's probably put on, what, that's about 9 inches worth of new growth, but it's definitely struggling because you can see the burning that happened from the 108-degree weather we had yesterday, and that was only for 2 hours. These trees can't run away. They just have to sit there and have the heat beat down on them. So you have to really make sure you take care of them and water them well. My trees have been getting watered every day for anywhere from 6 to 12 hours of water, just to help keep them from fully burning. But some of the trees still are having their issues just because of the size and the direction of sunlight that they're getting. So some of these trees still end up suffering. You can't protect everything perfectly. At least I haven't figured out a way to, but I am trying, so we'll see what happens. So right here, we actually had a heat wave earlier this year, and for some reason this tree just dropped all of its leaves, dropped all the fruit, and I'm assuming is dead. Now, I don't want to cut it in this heat. I want to wait. I'm hoping after the heat subsides, maybe it'll throw out a couple of shoots. And if so, then that means I can keep it. Otherwise, I will trim this back to right around where that white paint is from where it was previously cut. And hopefully the trunk is still alive and it will produce new branches and start growing again, but we will see. Otherwise, I may just have to cut this tree down completely, dig out the stump, and plant a new one. Whenever an avocado tree starts to deal with a lot of heat and they start to get stressed out, one of the first things they do is they will drop their avocados. For a tree, it's more important to keep the tree alive because it can produce avocados next year versus holding on to all the avocados and possibly risk dying because it put too much energy into its fruit instead of keeping its leaves cool and protecting its roots. So trees are very quick to drop their fruit in extreme heat. So it's unfortunate, but there are a lot of these avocados that have just dropped to the ground, but they are still edible. They're just small, and I can't sell them, but I can still eat them. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing with a lot of these ones I find. So besides giving water to the trees through the irrigation systems, which is gonna go down to their roots, and then the tree has to then transport that water up into the leaves to try and keep itself cool, I'm gonna go ahead and just mist all these down. And because my trees are anywhere from 25 to 30 feet tall, it's pretty hard to get water way up at the top, especially where it's hot. So I end up using my pressure washer. I've seen other people where they'll put an irrigation or a sprinkler head on some PVC and they'll put it onto a 10-foot pipe and then run it straight up. And that works if your trees are small, but with the size of my trees and how big they are and just how dense they are as well, there's no way I'd be able to do that. I would have to have PVC pipes going 30 plus feet into the air, and then even with the amount of spread that would be, it would still only cover 1 or 2 trees. So what I found is using a pressure washer. And I normally either use the 1 when I need to throw water really far, or the 0 where it's a straight beam, or I'm using the 20-degree sprayer where it gives a little bit more of a fan, and that's for a lot of these lower and closer leaves. That way I'm able to let it disperse out and cover more area. Now, it is still a pressure washer, so you really do need to keep a distance away, because you can damage your trees with the pressure washer fairly easily. Yesterday I was also spraying down my banana tree, and I caught part of the banana, and it ended up, they were already tattered and torn, but it almost ripped through one of the banana leaves because I was a little too close to it. So if you are going to try using the pressure washer, make sure you start out from a really far distance and work your way closer to spraying your tree or plants. That way it has time to lose some of that energy that could damage it. I have tried using those backpack sprayers where they have like the wand, or they even come with like a fan jet to help spray, and it does work, but it wasn't working for the size of my trees. That's why I decided to use a pressure washer. But if you're looking at smaller trees like 10 feet and under, or you're dealing with like a lot of larger plants like some staked up tomatoes or pepper plants, then yeah, that's absolutely a good option, because you'd be able to walk around, spray everything down, you're getting eyes on it, and you're able to see how those plants are doing. But for me, with my situation, the pressure washer works really good right now. One other thing that you can do that I really do like about the pressure washer system is it does actually have a tray or a feed for using soap, but because I've never used it for that, what I could do is put in some kind of nutrient spray, and I would dilute it into the water as I would spray the trees. But that's not something you want to do in extreme heat when you're just trying to keep your trees cool. That's more of a spring or fall when you're trying to give those nutrients to the tree. When it's hot, that's not when you want to either fertilize or give nutrients through a foliar. That's the wrong time. All you want to do is put just pure water on the tree leaves, because it's doing evaporative cooling, which is helping keep your trees cooler. So be sure, if you're doing this for heat, for dealing with the heat, you want to spray just water. But later on, after this heat passes and I do a last feeding for the year, I'm gonna go ahead and put some seaweed extract and some other things in it, and I'll do a spray like that. And I'll be sure to record that and show you the results. So that's it. I just want to put some water on these leaves to let it cool down, and then I'll come back in an hour, maybe 2 hours, and spray it down again, because I'm trying to prevent this from happening to the whole tree. All this new green growth is damaged and dying off, so that's what I'm trying to prevent. hope that this helps you out with keeping your plants cool when you're dealing with extreme heat. Good luck.